an interesting situation where it's like Porto aren't pushovers.
Porto should beat West Brom.
And Chelsea, how are they going to bounce back after losing for the first time under Thomas Tuchel? And it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, now I just want to be a bit of a dick here. Isn't Europe a entirely different competition? So in this match in Premier League not make a difference
John,
in
you're
Europe?
the first guy to say
Come
Liverpool
on.
in Europe. How are you going to defend yourself? Your retort.
Well, the only other game that I wanted to talk about was Jesus versus the Romans.
Hey, you guys,
it was a really great match. Jesus coming back in the
huge comeback there.
Own goal by Judas Iscariot, and
you guys can't see it. The white flag is being waved in the corner there.
Incorrect.
Ben, tell us about Mourinho.
Yeah, that was. We've got to say Harry Kane now the leading goal scorer in the Premier League. So move over Mo Salah. Not that it mattered for anything, but that was. I don't know who that's more embarrassing for. I mean, if you'd watched that game, Newcastle should have won by a large margin.
Oh, man.
I think Harry Kane just shows up because Newcastle does score first. Harry Kane shows up, scores 2 in rapid succession, and then I think we all knew what was coming next, and that was the late equalizer by Newcastle, which.
What's the kid's name? I can't remember. He's a loanee from Arsenal, and he he had an interview. He was just like, "Yeah, Steve Bruce told me to make an impact, and I went out there, and it was really great for me as an Arsenal player to score against Spurs." It's just like, okay, so Steve Bruce hasn't been telling his impact stubs to go out and make an impact. Like, come on, Steve.
It wasn't Saint Maximin, was it? I'm just trying to remember who.
Are you talking about who scored?
Who scored the equalizer?
Yeah, is that your question there?
I can't remember. Yeah,
it was Wilcock. Joseph Wilcock scored the equalizer.
That's right. He did, yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know Newcastle players, so I have no idea if that's who you're really referring to there, John. But nonetheless, that was a classic blow.
No, and you just got to wonder, where's Mourinho's days numbered? Is he gonna be the manager next season? I know Spurs have been linked with Julian Nagelsmann.
I did hear that one.
Yeah,
a while back.
I think that would be a tasty proposition for Spurs fans because he's right up there. But
we'd have to look into what Mourinho's contract is because it would not be cheap.
What's the buyout clause exactly?
It's true. And the funny thing about Mourinho is his usual formula is first year amazing success. No, first year rocky road, second year trophies, third year the team hates him and he gets sacked. So he's kind of gone from step 1 to step 3 and bypassed step 2. For Spurs,
he's done that for the last few jobs that he's had.
All his jobs.
He's kind of been fast forwarding through his 3-year cycle. He had some success at United, but he fast forwarded through his normal 3-year cycle in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt feels like it's more of the same with Jose. I think saying that there's been a lot of has the game passed by Jose Mourinho? I don't think it necessarily has, but I do think that. There's something to be said about maybe he needs to freshen up what his the team around him is, because he doesn't seem to be able to connect with the players in the same way that he used to.
Yeah, I think it's more Mourinho's style that just doesn't work. And I just had a quick little Google search. I don't know how accurate it was, but to buy him out is in the realm of about £30 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Not sure how accurate that is, but it wouldn't surprise me because his contract is for another 2 years.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I know Daniel Levy is
tight.
Yes, he does not like spending money, so I don't know if he's going to be in a rush to buy out Jose Mourinho.
No, I don't think so either.
So
maybe if all the rumors of Harry Kane being sold to Madrid are true.
Can you imagine? We'll sell Harry Kane just so we can finance getting rid of Jose Mourinho. That'd be all right.
That would be a shrewd piece of business.
That would be a hard pill to swallow if you're a Spurs fan.
I mean, wasn't Hansi Flick trying to get Son Heung-min over to Germany as well?
Who would want him really? But yeah.
All right, guys, let's move on from the Premier League, and I got a handful of different topics that I want to touch base on here. I got an athletic fan survey that I read up on the other day. I'm going to bring up in a minute, as well as a couple other things. In particular, first one, let's just enjoy it, and I would love to hear your best celebrity comparison to Alison Becker's glorious mustache there. Man, I saw an Instagram picture there the other day, and I was like, holy crap, is he rocking that now? And it is a serious duster. Ben, you've already got yours lined up there. Looks like
it's got to be Freddie Mercury. Come on.
And they both can sing too.
They both can sing. Man, multi-talented people. Here's my issue with Alison Becker. He is such an attractive man that he can shave his already amazing beard, give himself like a mustache right out of the late 80s, and still be way better looking than everybody in this room put together. And that pisses me off because I hate when people do that.
I'll show you guys a picture of when I shaved my beard and just had the mustache. It was.
Do you look like Alison Becker? Did you?
A little. Well, if he was, if he shaved his head too, he would probably still be able to rock it better than me. John, who's your best comparison for our love interest here, Alison Becker?
Folks, y'all know that I am a big professional wrestling fan,
Oh,
and
you?
what Alison Becker would like to do right
Don't we
now
only allow you one per list?
We allow you one per episode.
For all you fat, out of shape Liverpool sweat hogs to keep the noise down, while Alison Becker takes off his road and shows all the ladies what a real man is supposed to look like. I mean, he is Rick Rude. Like he
I thought
is
you were gonna say
Rick
classic.
Rude.
Stone Cold. That's what you
That was
look
a
like,
goatee.
JP. That's what you look like, JP. Yeah.
If I went with the goatee, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit there. Ravishing Rick Rude. That's a classic. At least I know that one. That's a classic.
You lost me on that one.
I was giving him a Tom Selleck style mustache because that has a thick, bushy stash there, almost a Ron Burgundy-esque.
Yes.
I loved it.
Ron Swanson.
Now Swanson, I think is a little thinner. I think
It's
it's
true.
kind of more like
Yeah.
mine.
No,
actually.
Swanson's mustache isn't thinner, but his hair
no,
is
it
much
is.
thicker.
Yeah, no,
His
he does
hair
have
is
a big,
similar.
thick one.
If Ron Swanson was just way more athletic.
I mean, Ron Swanson could kick your ass
Yes.
and mine
We know that.
at the same time.
He can also, and Alison Becker's.
Yes.
He would just, through small government and low taxation. Yeah.
Slash.
Great show, Parks and Rec, for those who don't get the references.
Let's flip to the other side of the Merseyside. I read an article. There was an interview with Richarlison from Everton. And apparently he was a little irritated that he apologized to Thiago for that reckless tackle that caused him a red card and put him on the sidelines for months. And he apologized on Instagram, but Thiago did not respond or acknowledge the apology. Fair foul, guys. Is that a dick move by Thiago to not acknowledge an Instagram apology, or is it should he have? Should it have been more like, hey, yeah, I accept it, yada yada yada. What do you think there, John?
I mean, here's the thing with Richarlison is like he has spent so much time being such a dick on social media and in the media in general about Liverpool. He's a reckless player. He's not a very good player in the grand scheme of players for his country who play in his position. Everton fans want to talk him up about being a better player than Bobby Firmino, not even acknowledging all the things that Bobby Firmino does for Liverpool, and quite frankly, the success that Bobby Firmino has that Richarlison simply hasn't. I think that Richarlison is just trying to get clout by putting his name next to Thiago Alcantara's, and he can suck one.
I can't disagree with you on that. I mean, sure, okay, would it be nice to accept an apology, but that was such a blatantly nasty challenge. I got no sympathy for that. I've played enough games and had enough run-ins. I've knocked a guy's tooth out in the middle of a game and apologized to him afterwards, but it was a flow of play. It was a collision. Hey, sorry it happened. We shook hands, had a beer in the parking lot.
It reminded me of the Funes Mori let's charitably call it challenge on Big Cock Divock a few years back, where he kisses the badge as he's going off the pitch with a red card. He says, "Oh, I didn't realize I had hurt him that bad." Fuck off, you did.
Yeah, it's I have a hard time. There's reasonable plays and professionalism in the middle of a game, and I can leave everything on the pitch. But at a certain point, you cross that when you become just an outright dick about certain things. And I
you're
think
not that good.
Yeah. I don't want to go too far on that because I still think
good
he's pretty
player,
good.
but you're not that good.
I definitely still rate Richarlison. I think he's still a pretty decent player.
Yeah.
I mean, you're comparing him up to like a lot of Brazilian talent there, which I think isn't necessarily totally
That's a
fair.
pretty high bar.
That's pretty
high
deep,
bar.
deep attack you got there. No, I'm gonna take the opposite stance here. I mean, like, yeah, it was a dirty challenge, but at the end of the day, like, we were all raised by our mothers to be the bigger man. So if he's reaching out to apologize, because you know what, I don't think he. At any point did he make that challenge? I don't think any player makes any challenge with the intention to sideline you for months.
No.
Steven Gerrard against any Manchester United player.
He gets a pass, John, does he?
I'm just no. I'm just saying that is the counter.
I kind of disagree on a certain point there, because when you're playing the game and you're going in studs up at a point, that's reckless. And okay, if you're playing under 12 soccer, you don't know that I might actually hurt somebody. You're a professional at this point. You know that I'm risking hurting somebody pretty damn bad.
Yeah, also, shout out my fiance playing soccer when she was about 12 years old. Blinded a girl by...
oh, my God.
It was her fault for wearing her glasses while she was playing.
Oh.
And shards of glass went into her eyes, so...
I actually...
Shout out. Ruthless.
Damn. I grew up with glasses, and I wore sports glasses when I was playing goalkeeper, and I even broke those. I took a couple shots to the face and broke those out.
No, I think Thiago should have been a little bit more mature in that scenario and just kind of at least acknowledge it. You don't have to say like all is forgiven, but at least kind of acknowledge it. I think it's a little petty to
maybe I should have done a little research to see if Thiago was actually on Instagram and actually saw it or whatever.
He is, yeah. I know you wouldn't know that, but
I'm not even sure.
Ultimately, like it's a matter of Richarlison's social media team and Thiago's social media team not acknowledging one another, because it's not the individual players who are doing this.
That's probably correct to a degree. Yeah.
So I'm correct in assuming that Instagram is something for social media, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like a scale to measure out weight. No,
Instagram is actually what they do is they take Polaroid pictures and then you mail it to each other.
It's how you actually get in touch with your mother's mother.
So it could have been a postal issue.
Okay, that makes sense. Got it. All right, we'll blame the post office. That's okay. All right, guys. The Athletic Fan Survey. They do this every year, and this was across the Premier League. And they asked fans a bunch of different questions about their club, and then they ranked the fans' responses against the entire league. First question they had there was, how happy are you with this season's performance for your team? Number one in the list was City, and I don't think anybody's going to argue that one there, even though they got off to a rough start. Liverpool were 15th. Head of Spurs, which is nice to note. But is that on point, guys? Or do you think Liverpool fans are being a little harsh? What do you think there, Ben?
I think it's on point. I think like when you go from winning the Premier League 2 years removed from winning the Champions League, and we're in this...
Even with all the injuries?
Well, I think the mark of a good team is they're able to adapt.
Yeah.
And okay, I mean, I'm not gonna go back into this because this has been a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
I feel like for months now.
Already. Yeah.
But no, I feel like we should have been better than where we are now.
No disagreement there, John?
I think personally I would mark it a little bit higher than if I was somehow grading Liverpool in terms of how I feel about how they're doing. I think I'm going a little bit higher than 15th, but obviously it's not the same thing. I think I'm a little bit more happy than maybe the averages, but generally speaking, I don't think it's too harsh.
I think this would change at the end of the season. If we finish top four, I think I'd be, you know what, I'm cool. I'm okay with everything, but the way we're getting there is pretty bad. Right
I would agree. You'd prefer if we were challenging for the title, but top four, all good.
Well, and again, not to rehash old conversations, knowing everything that's happened this year, if I said you got your top four, but you're not winning the league, I think we'd all be okay with that. Happy if your manager is back next season. Number one was Everton, which I think is kind of hard to disagree with. They made a pretty big jump this year under Ancelotti, so I don't think we'll debate that. Number two was Liverpool. So Liverpool fans are happy with Klopp.
I'm surprised City wasn't higher.
A little bit. I'm not sure where they were at that one. Should have wrote that one down.
Yeah, it's all right.
John, you're going to be happy if Klopp's back next year?
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is very much the dark night of the soul for Jurgen Klopp in a lot of ways in terms of his Liverpool stewardship.
Yeah.
But I think we're seeing actually this is a kind of a beautiful thing. Is I saw Alisson with a huge grin on his face at full time against Arsenal, and then of course Klopp smiling in his post match commentary. These are two men who have gone through unimaginable tragedy during this unimaginably tragic last 12 months, and to see both of those guys smiling really warmed my heart.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know. I think, as I stated, I have my issues with Klopp this year and some of the decisions he's made and the failure to adapt. But not in my wildest dreams now would I think that getting rid of Klopp is a good move.
Yeah.
So no, I'd be obviously very happy if when he's back.
And I posed the question